Manchester United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Manchester United have lost the Europa League Final to Tottenham Hotspur. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Steve, another loss, no goal again. Embarrassing, losing to the team that doesn't win trophies. Tell me your thoughts on that.
4 times in one season.
That's incredible, isn't it? Even when we've been crap, we don't usually lose to City or Liverpool or anyone 4 times in one season, let alone the team who's 17th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
How's that happened tonight, do you think? How have we lost that?
I think the manager takes a little bit of blame for that tonight. I don't think he got his selection correct. I think playing Bruno and Casemiro deep when both of them are potential match winners for you really hindered us. You've seen them both sort of trying to launch balls forward rather than maybe getting involved a little bit higher up the pitch where they could have had an impact. I wonder if Ahmad playing right wing back would have been a bit more aggressive, because Spurs didn't really threaten us at all. Like, all of their chances came from us just brain farting. I don't think Luke Shaw looked anywhere close to being match fit or sharp, and I thought he was a major weak link for us. We was being put under pressure by his flicks and like passing, and his transition was shite. I think if you'd have had Ugarte in the middle, moved Mazraoui into defence, and let Bruno and Casemiro go and impact the game a little bit at the end of the pitch where they can actually do that, rather than a half-assed job of being a central defensive midfielder, like from the pair of them. And maybe if we'd have played with 11 men instead of having Højlund on the pitch, maybe that would have done something as well.
Who would you have played instead of Højlund? How would you have reworked it?
I think Andy Cole was there.
Rooney was on the stage.
Yeah, Rooney would have done a bit. Literally anybody. I would. In my own preview, I said I would have started Xerxes if he's got 45 in him and just start with him. I'm just getting pissed off of him now. It's the lack of movement in the ball. It was the ball that Euro gets on the end of. I think it's in the first half. Højlund literally pulls the opposite way. As everyone goes in to attack the ball, he leans back and was like, "Just what are you doing? You can't. You almost need to sit him down and just be like, I need you to explain what the fuck this is, because it's not like, who's taught you this?" And then when balls are being played up to him, Onana ends up with the stats of like 1 in 10 of his long balls are successful. I'll tell you why. He sort of tracks where the ball's going. He makes no attempt to challenge for it. He's been clattered a few times, but he's been clattered because he's not even challenged for the ball. He's just sort of like ran alongside the defender and took the hit. What are you doing?
In terms of the clattering, I think Tottenham had 22 fouls to United's 10. That was clearly a game plan of theirs, wasn't it? I think they only ended the game with 2 yellow cards. Do you think that them kind of, beating us up basically was one of the reasons why United couldn't make chances?
No, I think we did make chances. We made a shitload of chances. We didn't make good chances.
Yeah.
But we also did make good chances. Højlund himself had one, which I'm not going to dig him out for that one. He's got it on target.
Which one?
The one where Van der Ven's done some absolute kung fu shit to clear it off the line.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm not going to dig him out for that. It's on target. Realistically, in every other game of football, it goes in. Luke Shaw's put one at the keeper. In a lot of other games, that goes in. We didn't have many clear-cut chances beyond that, but you kind of put yourself in that situation by not taking your half chances in the first half. And letting the game go deep into the point where Spurs are allowed to sit back and hang on. Because how many times we said it, low blocking works.
Looking at what Tottenham did to win then, do you praise Postecoglou? Is it the look of the draw? The ball hits Luke Shaw's hand, is either going in or tappable in by Brennan Johnson on the line, basically. Did they win the game? Did United lose the game, or was it just a bad game of football and the toss of a coin landed their way?
Honestly, it was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen in my fucking life. Both teams should be embarrassed. I wouldn't give Postecoglou any credit, maybe apart from like the last 30 minutes where he's low blocked it, but it's not genius, is it? It's the most obvious shit in the world to do when you've got a team that doesn't really score many goals. You're a goal ahead of them in the final. Maybe just like try and hit them on the break, put 5 across the back, because Manchester United are going to try and launch it into the box. We've got no other tools in our arsenal, so they're going to try and pump it into the box. They'll probably stick Maguire in there at some point. Let's get Danso on there to go and just clear some headers. Honestly, someone on his level 1 is going to be like, I know what to do here.
So is that a manager's issue then? Because if if your players don't create chances anyway other than the most obvious, if your players are easy to stop, if you don't make patterns and ideas that are, anything other than kick the ball to your centre-back, by the way. And I saw people criticising Amorim for not putting Maguire up front further. He's fucking a centre-back. Like, the idea that the only thing we've got...
It's a chaos multiplier, and it is.
And I think he's only got 3 or 4 goals this season. He's not a 12-goal-a-season centre-back. Do you blame the manager for that? Is that a lack of tactical nous from him? Is he not being able to impart goal-scoring chances creation onto this team? Is that his problem?
I don't think that's a thing.
Okay. So what you think... go on, sorry.
I think people massively over-egg what managers are able and capable of doing. If you look at United from the start of the season under Erik ten Hag to now under Ruben Amorim, you tell me what's different apart from the fact that we have a back three.
But we're lower in the league.
I think that I can point to a couple of things. I think we have a slower build-up. I think Ten Hag was a little bit more direct.
Yeah.
The fucking end result is the same. That we don't score enough and we concede too many. So what's changed? Like, people think that managers are able to grow world-class players and develop world-class players on the training ground, and just with a fucking any given Sunday speech just turn a loss into a victory. It's not fucking reality. It doesn't work like that. It didn't work like that for Alex Ferguson. It doesn't work like that for any manager. They have so limited amount of time on the training pitch to be able to work on individual skills and even patterns of play that are going to help you to create chances. He's getting plan A into the system still, I think. And the amount of games that we've gone the distance in the Europa League. That means you get about 3/4 of an hour a month on the training pitch where you might be able to work on those sorts of patterns of play. But there's fundamentals of the game which Manchester United get wrong. And I guess some blame has to go on the manager for allowing that and not cutting that out and being harsh on that. How has nobody sat Højlund down all season and gone, this is bollocks, stop doing it?
We obviously, I know you're basing that on what we're seeing, which is understandable. That's the only evidence we've got. Do you think that they haven't? Do you think, in your knowledge of football clubs or management or whatever, do you think that he has gone this whole season without anyone saying, here's what you need to do differently because this isn't working? I'd
be shocked if he hasn't, but then I am frequently shocked at how that's, obviously we have Ryan Opper that works directly with professional players, and I say all the time, he shouldn't have a fucking career. He shouldn't have a career as a private coach for professional footballers. He shouldn't, right? Because that job should just be taken care of in-house. They should have an absolute red hot buffet of just coaches for any. What do you want to do? Do you want to work on your left foot? We have a left foot coach.
Yeah, or a weak foot coach. Yeah.
No, a left foot coach. Right.
Yeah.
And we have a chesting coach, and we have a throwing coach, and people laugh at people when they get players like that, coaches like that in. But what do you see when they get people like that in? Tangible benefits to them.
It's become a meme, hasn't it? Arsenal's set-piece coach stood on the touchline like he owns the place, and maybe he is overstepped. But they have become one of the most dangerous set-piece teams in the world. Yeah. And it's not by guessing. No. It's by working at it.
But there's things like that I don't... Yeah. You assume that they're happening, but I think there's an assumption of competence and that sort of stuff because the badge and the brand is worth so much that you think that people in there know what they're doing, and they fucking don't. And the other thing is, completely contrast Spurs defending and United's defending, Spurs attacking and United's attacking, and the final goes on one moment, which is it's come off Luke Shaw's arm, it's spun weird and flummoxed Onana as he's gone in. I think Onana could have done a little bit better for it. Luke Shaw could have done a little bit better for it. Harry Maguire could have done a lot better for it. But Brennan Johnson's put the pressure on the back of Luke Shaw, come through him. Luke Shaw hasn't defended his zone or his front post anywhere near good enough. And for me, that's the difference in the game. Because you see Spurs doing that at the other end. You see Spurs Romero's done it where he's just got in front and managed to clear one. Could have gone in his own net, but it's not. It's gone out for a corner. And those are the fine margins that games get swung on. Is someone getting across his man or not getting across his man, and someone not quite clearing his zone and someone clearing his zone, and they did it and we didn't, and that's why they're in the Champions League next year and we're not.
Next season then, you mention it, it's going to be a war zone for Amorim. If he starts the season badly, the comments tonight, I'm sure you see it on regardless. And it is regardless. But we can't pretend that this season hasn't made it worse and hasn't lit the fuse already. Do you think, if for instance, the run of games that we've had this season and results, if he repeats that next season, he will be gone. So he has used his grace period that that does exist already. If we start next season how we've ended this season, he won't be here. What can he do? What does Ineos need to do?
There's only one thing he can do, and that's win.
But how do we get to that point? Is it all on Ineos this summer? Do you think there's the manager?
Yes, it is all on Ineos this summer, because if you give him Rasmus Højlund, and he's not the only one, but look, we said it in the summer.
Yeah,
this attack.
I quoted you on this on the review, by the way.
This attack is not good enough, and then we got rid of Sancho, Antony, and Marcus Rashford. Could we not maybe have pulled a goal out from one of those if they was available tonight? Would they have been better than the no other option but to play Højlund? Højlund's played all these games this season. You probably would have played Rashford instead. You probably would have done.
Yeah.
Now, for whatever reason, it was never going to work, is the word I'm hearing. For whatever reason, they weren't happy with his application in training or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. But from what I'm hearing, it was like he was a non-starter from the get-go. He's got to go. Okay? But then Sancho's gone, Rashford's gone, Antony's gone, and this team, which already couldn't score goals, now just doesn't have a prayer of scoring goals, and then Ahmad gets injured. Sweet. So now what are we going to do? Now we're going to finish that in our worst position in the league, and we're not going to win fuck all. And you go, right, so how do you fix that? Well, you fix that with your recruiting. Yes, I think the manager absolutely has to do better with his tools at his disposal, but let's not pretend he's not just phoned in probably 6 or 7 league games to get us to this final, which we didn't fucking win anyway.
Do you think there's a chance we get worse next season?
No.
No matter who we get, they'll be better than Højlund or whatever. Do you think that we're in a relegation battle? Is that possible?
No, I think we're in the top. I think we're in the top 6. I'm projecting that we're going to. I'm projecting that we're going to sign Cunha, probably Delap, probably somebody else. Right? Injuries could fuck us, but 1 game a week, Joe.
Yeah. But what does that help? So it helps reduce injuries. It helps the manager get his ideas in there a little bit more. But again, like you said, you can't sculpt world-class players out of them no matter how long you have.
No.
It's all about getting goals in the team in the summer.
What you do see, though, is you do see teams that are able to... There's just a more relaxed environment about going through it. Mates that work in football have been at clubs that have been in Europe and then out of Europe and then back in Europe, and they've gone, oh my God, you will not believe just how much easier everything is when you're only playing once a week. So we're only playing once a week. So that gives us loads more time on the training ground where you can actually develop stuff. You can make a game plan. Now you can start working on the game plan for the game at weekend on Tuesday. Well, they're fucking off to Europe. Nottingham Forest are in the Europa League. They got to come to Old Trafford on a Sunday. They've been dicked around. Someone's rolled an ankle. Someone's not quite fit. They've had to change their plans last minute. They don't even get to think about what they're going to do for United until Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and then they're playing you. Whereas you've been looking at Nottingham Forest all week long. What do they do? What's their triggers? What's they do? So you just come in a little bit better prepared. And in the Premier League, that can be enough. I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United and Nottingham Forest just change places next year.
We saw Newcastle last season there drop off after getting Champions League football, a few injuries, and they've got, I think, a deeper squad than Forest, but Forest have been a bit of a miracle this year, haven't they? Right, cheers, Steve. 1 more game left.
It feels like it's the end of the season.
It does. That's why I said it, because I'm reminding people that there will be a preview, there will be a watch-along, there will
and
be
it'll be our best work.
Yeah, and that game is going to be absolutely toxic as all hell, innit? At Old Trafford. Yeah. It's going to be.
I'm glad I'm not here.
Yeah. Right, thank you very much for joining us. Spurs 1, United 0. See you in a bit.